Do you believe in destiny?
But as Arjun says, no? Yeah, Arjun says.
From Mahabharat?
Oh, yeah. From ZNM.
सब लिखा हुआ है?
सब लिखा
सब लिखा हुआ
I
है.
do believe that सब कुछ लिखा है, but are you religious?
The thing is,
Apoorva, yes or no?
I'll tell you. So the thing is,
Yes or no, Apoorva?
so it's not.
Especially about some people that they are like, when life is not going right now and they do some things and they are like, ऊपर वाला देख लेगा. That's just too beautiful for me.
I think everyone in the world should believe in God. Everyone should be God-fearing. But I don't understand the fact that people are God-fearing but fearing different gods. Like, you know, so don't be a good person with God, be a good person with another person. And I think God will be happier.
Nothing happens for a second, and then it's just you open your eyes,
Wow.
and it's the destruction of the universe. But the fact that we're talking so much and God does not exist now, मतलब I'm telling you.
करना पड़ेगा भाई.
बात करना पड़ेगा भाई. कॉल लगाना पड़ेगा.
भगवान को भाई.
उसको कॉल लगा उसको.
उसको भाई लगा Instagram पे होगा ना.
So nothing matters
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
None of the bad stuff, the good stuff we do, nothing matters at all in the grand scheme of things.
Just that. Good quote.
Got a monster inside of me. You better watch out if you ignite me. There's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me. And he gets claws real big, pissed off quick.
Alright, so guys, welcome to the 4th episode of the Productive.
Procrastination
Podcast.
Cheers, guys. 4th episode.
Cheers, guys.
Been a while. यार तेरा डायलॉग भूल गया तू brother. This is alcohol by the way, guys.
This is water.
4 episodes in यार. I mean, I never thought we'd get to this stage.
Honestly, I don't think third episode upload होने वाला है.
Yeah, if you've seen the second episode, you'll know what we're talking about.
Bro, second episode was mad, bro. Like the things we've heard, and but it was what we had to voice this out.
Today's topic is not controversial, right?
Today, I think all of us will be mostly on the same page. Maybe I'll be different, but today's topic is of course God, spirituality, free will, simulation theory. We all love
Afterlife,
death,
hell, heaven, all of that.
heaven
you
and
know?
hell. Yeah.
So we're going to talk about God, guys. You know, honestly, a little funny story. So it's not very funny, but the podcast initially had started because Rajveer and I had the first conversation we had was about God. So that's when I don't know how it came up, but I remember that the two of us had this InstaPay. We were texting and we had this 30-line conversation about God, where each of us was sending each other like 40-line wale messages about God. And that's when I knew that, my God, this guy's views are like mine, and we need to start a fucking podcast, bro. Like, you know. And it was about God only, I remember. So this is something that we've been wanting to talk about like for a long time, right? All three of us love this topic when it comes to life, God, spirituality, death, all of this, you know, the real deep stuff as it is. Let's start.
Let's begin. Alright, so a question I wanted to ask both of you all. This is just a starter question. But do you think there is some divine presence or some God, whatever it is? Is it watching over us as a guardian angel, or you know, maybe it's just there, and maybe we're just here to experience life? But is there that one guy who's like behind your he's behind your back? He's for you.
So I think for me, like when you ask about God, right, the first thing I ask people is like, do you think God is a tangible being or not? So like, when you think of God, do you think of something that you can touch, you can feel, you can see, like a being or an idol of sort, or something else? Because for me personally, when I think of God, I can't think of anyone. I don't think of a particular being. I just think of God as the universe, you know. And I think the universe doesn't have my back, because it'll be too arrogant to assume that the universe is, you know, watching over me and, you know, this is for me and stuff. That's a bit too arrogant to assume. I have thought about it. I have thought about there being something that that is looking after me in certain situations or scenarios, but I wouldn't believe that all of this is created for me. And when it comes to, as you said, a divine presence or a God, that is how I see a God, as a divine presence, or like as an energy of sort, but not as an idol. So that is God for me. What about you?
I almost completely agree
You know,
with you.
this is going to be the situation where all three of us are going to completely agree on most topics.
So basically, not a physical being of sorts. This is something like the universe, as you said. Something that is incomprehensible to us as human beings. I don't think we'll ever be able to, if there's a divine entity as God, I don't think we'll be able to comprehend the existence. Because it's so big and it's everywhere, and just I don't know how people are able to do it. I'm really respectful of people who are able to go to an idol and worship it and see God in that idol or something. They really have, because that's their faith, and I really respect that. But I personally can't do it. For me, God is everywhere if there's such an entity, and for me, it's more like the universe, as you said. It's everywhere. It's in everything. It's just every small thing, every big thing, and as you said, the universe is not made for me. I'm just a, I don't know, small
speck of dust.
Small speck of dust. The question I had is, like you said, the God is in everyone and everything. So you think, do you want to correct it? Is it in everyone? You think it's in the prisoners, the people who rape, all that stuff?
Okay.
I think that went a little controversial, but okay.
No, the question you raised was right when I said that God is in everything and everyone.
Do you think God is in everyone?
So that point when he said God is in everyone, I don't believe. I think
Didn't
he
even
also
say
meant
the
to say
word
God is
God. Universe.
Do you think there's equal amounts of God and the devil, as you say, in some people? So there's like some amounts of devil more in the people who commit more crimes and all, and some amounts of God in the people who we assume to be good,
First of all, should I correct the statement that I made before? So I used the wrong word. I didn't mean to say God. I meant as a universe. For me, basically, when I say that.
Universe is in each and every one of us. Because, like, do you? So I think I know his point of view. But when you're asking this question, do you think God is in everyone, or like, do you think we have a part of God in us? Because that is something I am hearing for the first time. Like, I haven't had a conversation with someone who believes that God is in everyone, not looking after everyone, but in everyone. So you said that means you believe that.
I mean, I think that yes, God, like, of course there is a sliver of hope in every human being, I feel, and of course, like, there is an equal, may be a more than amount of the devil than the God, but like, I think, like, there has to be hope. Like, everyone deserves a second chance, right? I mean, I get it. Like, some people don't, but like, I mean, I still believe that God is in everything and everyone, or whatever this notion of energy you're saying, right?
I think you're missing a O letter. I think you mean good is in everyone. Because God, right, bro? I think for me, when I think of God, it's something way too, big and too divine to be in humans, like be inside of us. I don't see that God is in us. I think God is looking. If you were asked the question in a way where you mean that do I think God is watching over everyone, be it prisoners and all, like then I would probably say yes. I think God is watching over everyone, be it bad people or good people. But I don't think we have God in us, because that would be way too arrogant to assume that I have a part of God in me or he has a part of God in him, because that gives us a sense of our ego being lifted to a way where we think that we are a creator ourselves, or like we have the part of the creator ourselves, which I don't think is very true.
But it's also like nice to hear. It's also fulfilling and satisfying. If there's an amount of God in me, it will help me to do more good in the world than you think. Because if you think if there is no hope, if there is no God, if you think that there is no God in you, if you think God is not watching your back, you might not do the good you want to do in this world. That's what I think. And because if God is watching your back, you will want to fulfill your purpose. Because God is counting on you. Imagine, like, God is making you, He's helping you become responsible.
Wait, do you think God is a he?
Like, oh shit.
As in not only he or she, but I mean, do you think God is a human? Or like, do you see God as a human?
God as an entity, you see. Not as, all present everywhere.
I attach the value of Him being human because it's what I am. And I want to attach Him, like, I know He's a divine entity. But the way I look at it as a human, because, like, it's the only thing I know. Like, I am also human, and it's like another human is helping me in ways I can't even think of.
Okay,
So that's what my theory of.
I also wanted to say that universe and human में we got a bit, बीच में, because you were saying creator of the universe. So creator of the universe, do you think of God as something different from the universe?
Beautiful.
So I think personally, if you ask me, I feel that the universe was created for a reason. So when I refer to the universe, I'm just referring to a being of sort. I'm not referring to the actual I'm not referring to space or the universe or the the dark energy, dark particles, matter. I'm not referring to that. But I think the universe and life itself was created for a purpose, and I think there is a creator. I don't think life just happened by chance. It's not like one day, unicellular organisms and water just became alive all of a sudden, and then that became multicellular. Then I don't think life just happened by coincidence. I think there was a creator. I personally, I would admit that I do not know the reason as to why life was created. Not for me, but for anyone. I don't know the purpose of life, right? But I definitely believe there is a creator of life. I don't think that. So when I'm referring to it, I think it's easier to refer to God as universe because it gives me a sense of comfort because the universe is all around us. So instead of referring to God as God, I refer to it as the universe for me personally. But I think there is a creator of the universe. Coming back to your point, you said that it's easier for you to look at or imagine God
From
as
a human perspective, yeah.
But think about it. Humans are not the only ones on this planet, right? There are other beings also. And there are dinosaurs who had ruled Earth for way longer than humans have. Why can't God be a dinosaur? Like, why can't he look like a dinosaur? Why can't God look like an ant? Why can't God look like a grasshopper? Why does he have to look like human?
Or look like a wall?
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
So, like, what makes us so special, right? God could be a tree, bro. Like, people would find it funny to think about it, but God could be a tree. Tree is what gives us life, and tree is an alive being. God could look like a tree, and we are assuming God to be a human. I think that arrogance that humans have, which is like we believe that our species or like humans are like on another, we are some other type of like level only, and humans sometimes think of themselves as gods. They have that god complex and stuff, which I think is just absolutely crazy to assume.
There is one human I remember who has a god complex, but yeah, continue.
Guys.
But like, yeah, what do you think, bro? Like, from where does that stem? The fact that you think God is human.
I've never really thought about it that way. I mean, it does come to my mind, but the thing is, I talk with humans, I interact with humans. I'm a human, so I feel like God will be some kind of a friend to me. Will be some kind of a person who I can talk to. It's like therapy. Like talking to God will be like therapy. It's like keeping that faith. He's that one person that has your back no matter what, who will help you in the darkest of times. When you go through hell, he'll be the one to pull you up from that well. So that's why I attach that character as human. Of course, he can be an ant, but it's just not what I like.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm
You would
saying?
relate to. Yeah.
Perfect.
What about you? What, like, when you think of God, when I ask you what is God, what comes to your mind?
It's nature, mostly. As I said, I think of. I don't think I'm not sure about it because views change with time. At this point, at this time, I think of God more not like a creator but the universe itself.
Correct, yeah.
And it's everywhere present. And when I think of this universe, I think of there's a certain flow of things, and I feel that flow, if you could call it God or I don't know, nature or universe, that for me is that's what I imagine when someone says God or something. The natural flow of things, the things just as they are.
So when you say the natural flow of things, the thing that came up to my mind was destiny. So I just wanted to ask this: do you believe in destiny? Do you believe there is one path you have to follow? There is one path which is calling you, and it is up to you to take it.
So I myself have a very conflicting opinion about it. So basically, when I think of destiny, okay, I'll tell you both the sides of what I think of.
Go ahead.
So there's this huge universe. It goes as entropy mein hota tha, thermodynamics mein. From this to that point, and chaos increases.
Entropy increases. True. Yeah.
That way, and there's no micromanaging, because everything, even if there's a destiny for everyone, every insect, every human being, there's no particular path that everyone follows, and even if they follow, it will eventually lead to chaos.
Oh, so you believe that in the end it's just chaos?
It's just chaos, so it doesn't matter if all the paths we take is destiny. The final destination is chaos, so it doesn't matter.
But isn't that a little... I mean, I agree with you, like, but isn't that a little bit like on the negative, nihilistic? That's what I'm saying.
You don't feel that, because if there's the other side of me that says like, okay, leave this up to... You have put in your best efforts. Leave it up to the universe.
Surrender.
Take care of it. And that just takes me most of the times when I'm going through a hard time. That's why I turn to, philosophies like Buddhism and Taoism. Because they are like, just let it all go. Because every time we have a desire or attachment, it eventually leads to suffering. If you just do everything selflessly, it's very hard and it's almost impossible to do everything selflessly.
True.
We all have expectations and desire. But if you just let go, the universe will take care of it. Just do your best. Do what you think is right. And just let go.
Achha, so that's actually very beautifully put. I had one question when it comes to believing in God, and this is a question that I ask myself also. So I personally am not religious. First, I would like to ask both of y'all: are y'all religious?
I mean, I'm not very sure. Like,
are you religious?
Not okay. So religion, as I see it.
No, just answer yes or no. Then we'll get into the no, right?
I like the idea of it. So I like the idea of Hindu gods, Christian gods, and I like the idea of it.
I love the idea.
I like the faith that people have. Yeah.
But are you religious?
The thing is,
Apoorva, yes or no?
It's a yes or no question. Then
I'll tell you. So the thing is,
yes or no, Apoorva?
So it's not.
There'll be a timer tick.
Religion does help me get out of spaces you don't want to be in. So I would say I'm not religious currently, but I would wish to be in the future.
Yeah. So that's the thing. My question was the fact that even I'm not religious, but I believe in God. And when I tell people that, they find it quite weird, right? Because for them, people that are religious, they have God as an idol. Like they have that idol in mind. Be it if you're Christian, if you're Muslim, if you're Hindu, you have an idol in mind. But for me personally, I don't have that idol in mind, but I still believe in God. So where do you think that stems from? Where people have different idols in mind, different religions. Most of the religions have the same beliefs, the same ideologies, the same way of living life, but each of them have different people to look up to. So what are your thoughts on just religion and people having different idols to believe in?
I'm still thinking.
What different religions and stuff. Take a second to think about it. My point on religion is I'm not religious. I would do that because my family is very religious and I respect that. Because that's the most beautiful thing about human beings, I feel.
Yeah.
Especially about some people that they are like, when life is not going right now and they do some things and they are like, Uparwala dekh lega. That's just too beautiful for me. Let go, the universe or God will take care of it. I did my best, I did whatever I could. The universe will take care of it, God will take care of it. I love that about religion. There's also the part that the sayings or the prayers we do, over thousands of years they have come to that, and there are certain vibrations to it. When people speak a certain syllable or word, there's a certain vibration to it, and that basically brings them closer to their idea of God or universe, or makes them have faith or builds a good vibration or positivity. I respect that. I'm not into that. I'm especially not into idol worship. I love that people have a place to go to where they can, feel they are purified of all the sins they have done. But I myself don't see me doing that and getting to that. So, and all the religions basically I feel come to the most basic part, even if people are fighting about it and stuff. All the religions in the world boil down to be kind, be good to others, have faith, be compassionate, do your best, do your duty faithfully. There's right stuff and wrong stuff. Do that faithfully, leave it up to the universe. Don't have many expectations or desires.
Beautiful. Very nice one. The thing is a little bit different from your point. I completely agree with what you're saying, but I see myself to be religious in the future because I feel like I will have someone to look up to. I feel like I'll have some faith, and because I love when ऐसे लोग टीका करते हैं and all. It's kind of I'm very curious about that stuff, and I want to explore. कि like आरती में क्या है? What is the significance of आरती? What does it do? Why do we have idols? Of course, like I don't understand yet why idols, like why it's not. Why don't people believe that it's present in everyone? But yeah, I kind of believe कि it's kind of interesting because like if you read the Bhagavad Gita, it solves a lot of problems in your life. If you read the Bible, like and you can't believe like the fact that people wrote this around 1,000 to 10,000 years ago, and it's day-to-day problems on waking up early and all that. Marcus Aurelius, he had the problems of waking up early. He's writing about that, and that was just something very shocking to me. It's like all of them have gone through the same problems, so why not just look at what they've written and how to solve them and just solve them? So that's what I'm thinking. Like right now I'm not religious because I still believe in the nihilistic philosophy of like, does it really matter and we're all going to die and all that stuff. But I do believe that in the future I might like go towards a particular religion.
Do you have any religion in mind?
No, I'm very still
open to it.
I'm open to it.
Fair enough.
What about you?
I also wanted to put a point, like as you said, there's the good stuff.
Yeah.
But when eventually it's all about having faith and believing in something now, I feel very bad when people are fighting over it.
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah.
Beautiful.
There's the drawback that comes to me, and that stops me from getting religious or too religious. I might someday
to get into a certain group against the other groups. Right?
Yeah, and over small stuff, over the color someone is wearing.
Yeah.
Especially over the way someone speaks, I don't get it. Or especially when it's I love the idea that religion brings so many people together and believe in the good. Like there's hope in everything and everyone. I love that about religion. But when especially in the modern day and current times, when it's about people fighting each other over very small stuff that should not even matter, and that I don't feel religion is about.
Religion makes you do crazy things. I've noticed that. Like if you go too extreme, in that religion, you know what happens. Like we've all seen what the outcome of being too extreme.
I think the beautiful part about religion is that people that are God-fearing, they are also very easy to trust because you know that in some way they feel that someone's always watching over them, so they won't do like messed up stuff mostly, and it's easy to trust them because they're God-fearing. But the drawback is that because they're God-fearing, they'll do anything for God, and sometimes if that puts you against their God, they will try to move you or eliminate you in some way. Doesn't have to be like end your life, but they'll try to brainwash you into also being part of their religion, which I don't think any religion wanted in the first place, which was to brainwash the rest of the world to be part of that religion. I think everyone in the world should believe in God. Everyone should be God-fearing. But I don't understand the fact that people are God-fearing but fearing different gods. Like,
beautiful.
I don't understand. Like, God is God. Fear God, but you don't have to fear different gods and then have a fight over it. That's not what God would want.
Love that quote.
And that's the thing about religion. That's the reason I'm not religious. Is because I don't want, as you said, I don't want to get into those matters where I'm like arguing with other people on the basis of what your God says is right versus what my God says is right. I don't think that makes sense. But moving also towards religion and the next, the thing that people talk about is spirituality, right? Where people often associate religion and being spiritual and being religion. People often confuse the two because not many people know the difference between what it means to be spiritual versus what it means to be religious.
You can be spiritual and not.
Exactly. You can be religious, not spiritual, spiritual, not religious. So like
it's like a Venn diagram thing.
Exactly.
They overlap, but they also are different.
Yeah. So like that. What are y'all? So I know that both of y'all said you're not religious at the moment. But are you all spiritual? And if so, how is that different from being religious?
I try to be. The thing is, if I want to be spiritual, for me, spirituality is about, of course, connecting with the higher power and all. Yeah. But it's also letting me do the job I'm here to do. It's about getting into that state of flow for me. So spirituality, of course, higher power and all. But I've got other stuff to think about right now. And I live in this world. So spirituality for me is like, of course, spirituality is also like God having your back. What about you?
Yeah, I would agree. Like the same thing you said. Yeah, but I'm not, very nitty-gritty about you should do this, you should do that. But something makes me feel spiritual, like meditation we talked about last time. It somehow instills the feeling that I am with the universe is with me. I am one of the. There's a really good quote I like. I'm not sure I 100% believe in it, but you are one of the ways of universe trying to get to know itself.
Yeah, this is beautiful. I've heard this. Yeah, I've heard this.
So one more question. I'm sorry. Like the thing is, you said the universe has your back and all. So are you trying to say that the universe has your back so that like you're kind of special to the universe?
No, I'm not special. Universe has everyone's back.
So everyone is special?
You
Or
could say
is no
everyone
one special?
That's almost the same statement, right?
No, I believe that everyone has a gift, but they just don't know how to use it. But everyone has that gift. Some people just use that gift more than often.
This episode is just us agreeing. Just me agreeing to you.
Rajveer, क्या हो गया bro? Debate कर यार.
यार नहीं हुई
Power couple.
No, but I mean, yeah, that's the thing, right? And also spirituality for me, I think, like the three of us meditate, and we spoke about this in the previous episode where we spoke about the benefits and stuff. But I think we are all very spiritual, all three of us, and which makes, I think, the thing for me, spirituality is it comes from within. So for me, I'll tell you the difference from what I feel. I feel religion is something that is, it's someone above listening to me, but spirituality is me listening to myself. So in a way, there's something, inside of me that I'm trying to listen to, and I'm trying to, follow. I'm basically following the desires in me and the way I want to live my life. That's spirituality. And I think each and every person has different spirituality individually. Like everyone have their own way of looking at spirituality. But religion is like, there are a certain set of rules that you have to follow. In a way, like if you follow a certain religion, there's a set of rules that you have to follow in this religion, and it's like a book, like you need to follow these rules types. And for me, that's why being spiritual is much more like, it's more philosophical. It's a better way of living life also, because you end up being a good person in general. And I think
Aaryan, I had a question. Like, if you don't follow a set of rules, don't you think like your notion of spirituality will become so generalized that it will descend into chaos?
So yeah, that is beautifully put, because I think that's what he had also said, where all the roads eventually lead down to chaos and stuff. But as you're saying, if you don't have a set of rules, it will eventually come down to chaos, right? But that's the thing, right? I feel in the end, everyone knows what it means to be a good person. Everyone knows.
They just don't do it. That's it.
They just don't do it. They end up doing bad things. They know they're doing bad things, and they know what it means to be a good person. So why not just follow it? Why do you need why do you need a book to tell you that do this to be a good person, do that to be a good person? You don't need a book to tell you that. You know it, but people don't follow it. And I think when you're spiritual, you truly understand the meaning of, not the meaning of life, because I don't understand that for shit, but you truly understand what you have to do or how you have to live life in a certain way, I think, and meditation obviously helps in that. So I don't pray, but I meditate. So I feel that benefits me in a different way as compared to praying, where I feel it's better for me to be spiritual personally.
It brings you closer to yourself and the universe.
Exactly, it brings me closer to myself and the universe. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Something you said, I remember what you said was like, people know that they have to be good, but like something which I have been struggling with is like, if you zoom out, like you're like God, okay? And you're looking down on earth. Do you think God cares if you're doing whatever you're doing is good or bad? What do you guys think?
Does God care as a question?
Does God care? Does God care? Honestly, like, is it good for you? It might be good. For God, it might be like, oh, God doesn't care. What do you think?
Bro, if you look at it from God's perspective, nothing matters, right?
Yeah,
if you really look at it from God's perspective, nothing matters. But I think He doesn't want us to look at it from His perspective, but from our own perspective as human beings, as men. We need to look at it from what a human being should do and not what a God should do, because, and I feel that, to be honest,
I love that you said that God doesn't want us to think from His perspective, but from ours.
Exactly. Like, the thing is, when I see people, when I see people like giving money to God, or like, when they like keep money inside the boxes for God and stuff. And I know people often debate about this and stuff, but I feel instead of doing that, God doesn't want money. Like, why would God want money? Right? I know it's a way of showing God that you are.
Blessing.
It's like a way of asking blessing, that I'm giving you what's so important to me, and you give me a blessing in return. I know that's the point of it, but I feel God would be happier if that money went to someone who needs it, a human being, from a human's perspective, you're helping out another person, and I think God will be happier if you do that instead of looking at it from God's perspective. So don't be a good person with God, be a good person with another person, and I think God will be happier. And that's what I feel.
Love thy neighbor.
Love thy neighbor. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
What do you think? You think God cares? Like, I know you agree with him, but like, I want to hear your opinion on it.
Okay. I might get cancelled this episode, so nothing matters at all.
Yeah.
None of the bad stuff, the good stuff we do, nothing matters at all in the grand scheme of things.
Just that. Good quote. Yes, brother. Nothing matters. Fuck.
Okay, but yeah, so in order for our civilization to survive and thrive, with the way we have evolved, there needs to be hope, there needs to be faith, and people, a large group of people, need to believe in one thing and not have, not everyone can believe in different things. That's what I feel. That's how a civilization moves forward. All of us need to have, that killing people is wrong, unless they have done a very wrong thing.
How do you justify that?
Exactly, you can't justify that, but there are certain rules that we have over the years, because humans have lived for thousands of years. If not in the universal sense of right and wrong, we know what's right for us, wrong for us, which might hurt people mentally, emotionally, physically. Mentally, emotionally, physically, what's right for us. So, and if like all the laws and the right stuff that we often talk about, do the right stuff, do the good stuff, be a good person, and our brains have also evolved to the fact that if we do something wrong that doesn't align with what thousands of years since we have lived to, like killing someone, raping someone, it destroys the person, the victim as well as the doer, but the doer needs to get punished. I feel that, and that's the way humans have survived this long, and that's the way they will
survive in the future.
will survive.
Something that I often think about is that when I often think about when was God, the concept of God created. Like obviously, if you talk about Christianity or Islam and all, there are certain periods, but the fact that people started worshipping gods in when faith became so strong, I often think when that happened, and why it happened, and I often believe that I think God, to a certain extent, the idea of that certain God, I think that is a man-made concept to a certain extent, and I believe the reason for that is because man is too afraid to take accountability for his own actions, and because he's too afraid to say, okay, this was my own fault, I was the one who screwed up, or this happened because of me. Man was too afraid to say that, and so he instead chose to blame or put those actions onto someone else. Like, this happened because of God. I don't have my own free will. God chose it for me. God did it through me. I don't decide what to do. God decides. And I think that's when men started killing and stuff and doing all of these bad things before, and then automatically saying, but its life is not on my hand, it's on God's hand. Right? And I think that's where the concept of God becomes dangerous, because you don't take accountability for your own actions. And I think you should, because be it good or bad, like I know that people, when they do something good also, they give the credit to God, saying that, okay, this happened because of God, and that's a good thing also.
But when it's bad,
yeah, exactly, it brings humility also. But the drawback is when it's bad also, they tend to say that God is the one who's doing this and not me, and that might be a drawback. But like, as you spoke about the bad people part, that got me thinking when you said that about the good and bad people. Do you think hell and heaven?
Yeah.
Do you think those are real places? What are your thoughts on hell, heaven, or like after death, where do you go? So Rajveer and Apoorva, you all have lived your life. After you all are dead, where does Rajveer and where does Apoorva go? Hell or heaven? What are your thoughts on hell and heaven?
Again, as I said, I have very conflicting thoughts about all of this. One part of me is like, you go to the ground, all of this consciousness, you just make yourself believe to feel special. In the end, it's just atoms and molecules here, and all goes to the ground. It will rise again from the ground, and someone eats the food with those crops, and one part of me will be very ancient and stuff. Like, you all come from stardust.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Mine is also like a simple, like this is kind of related to his only. What I think is like nothing happens after you die. It's just nothing. I think what I feel,
Not even blank
yeah,
screen.
it's just nothing. And what I feel like, what I thought, like what I had an imagination of, like you close your eyes, the next second you open your eyes, and it's the destruction of the universe. You see the universe getting destroyed. That's kind of what I feel.
Really?
Yeah.
I would love to see that in a movie.
So it's that's what I feel. Like nothing happens for a second, and then it's just you open your eyes,
Wow.
and it's the destruction of the universe.
Are you saying this for you specifically, or are you saying this is what happens to each and every human that dies?
I feel like it happens to each and every human, but also the concept of heaven and hell. Like for me, heaven and hell both exist on earth itself. It's the
Yeah.
decisions we make.
Beautiful.
What do you guys think? Do you think heaven and hell exist on earth? Do you think hell exists?
I think heaven and hell is earth.
What do you
It
think?
depends on the way you're living life. That's what I think. I think you can either choose to make this heaven or make this hell, and yeah, there is no second chance. Like the way you live your life right now, that is heaven or hell.
This is heaven, bro. I'm telling
Yeah.
you, this is paradise.
Or hell.
We can make it hell. I think what I believe is
Bro,
like
you really think the person who doesn't get food every single day, the person who's struggling to find food, can you really look at him or her in the eye and say this is heaven? Like some people have got it bad, and for some people this is hell. And I don't think everyone is like obviously some people are not given the choice. Like they are born poor or they're born wealthy, so they're born into heaven or they're born into hell, and you don't have that option, right? But
if you crawl out of that hell that you're in.
can you crawl out of the hell? That's the question, right?
So yeah, the one vivid imagination even I had was like hell is this bottomless pit that you can't get out of. But if you do get out of, like, it's just you think that, oh yeah, okay, I'm just reaching the top. But then you realize it's like if you know the myth of Sisyphus, the boulder one, that is kind of hell if you think about it. So he's pushing the boulder, like, I'm just about to reach the top. Then he realizes he's nowhere close. It's just eternity ke liye.
But isn't that how we are living our lives right now?
Bro, I feel like the fact
We're
that
trying to reach the top, and then
no, the fact that we
So
get
are
to
we in
live,
hell?
but we're all living this moment, right? We're living the present. That's what I feel like. We've all been given the gifts of paradise. We just know how to use it. That's what I think. So I get, like, I have major sympathy, but like I have massive sympathy for people like who've crawled out of that pit and who are going through tough times. But you have more motivation. You have more. The harder you struggle, the sweeter the victory, right? That's what I think.
But if God exists, why does poverty? I mean, why does poverty? You can obviously say these are all man-made things, right? Because money obviously is a man-made concept, and poverty was not something God, was not a concept that God-given concept. But there are so many bad things that still do exist, and obviously you can't really define them as bad. But God has put two beings or two different creatures on this planet where the two creatures are going to try to kill each other. That is just inevitable. Like for the lion to survive, he has to kill the deer. That is a circle of life, right? Why would God put the lion and the deer on the same planet and hope that the lion kills the deer, and then the deer becomes the grass, and then the grass takes in the lion, and then this constant need of killing is happening in the animal kingdom, and this circle of life, and God has created all of these beings. Why has God done that? For his enthusiasm, for his
something
entertainment?
which came to my mind is, I think God is just playing chess and we're all just pawns. I just feel like the killing and all. Maybe he's playing for fun. Maybe he's playing for maybe he's playing for something else. But like, he's just maybe he can be just. Maybe he's just messing with us. We're all just pawns to him. We're all just pawns in a game. We just choose how we play.
What about you? Why has God created the lion and the deer? Why has God created the man and the rattlesnake?
There's one of the explanations is karma.
You believe in karma?
Hmm.
Karma?
Depends on the pronunciation.
Okay. Do you believe in it?
Why I have so many conflicting opinions at this time, in my mind I have like this. One part of me doesn't believe, but one part of me does. But the one part of me does is questioned by the. Okay, so there's. Nolan bana raha hu.
This is like two Rajveer sitting here.
No, only
One is the devil side, one is the angel side.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay, so if karma exists, is true, there are so many people who have not done one thing wrong in their life, still they suffer so much every day. Poverty, etc. Yeah, okay, like humans have made it, but what if those are because of the deeds they did in their past lives or something? That's one of the, karma things. Wait, I forgot about it.
But that's the thing. Why couldn't God just make this paradise for everyone, for all the beings?
Bro, I think like if he makes it paradise, there's no point to. It won't feel like paradise anymore. Don't you think about that? Like if you're given all the gifts you have, you won't value them, right?
Okay, so Earth came into being. It was a paradise.
It is, yeah.
It's still a paradise.
It is still a paradise.
So
It's just,
we are.
we're all living in paradise, I think.
We are not destroying it because I would say we are not destroying it at all.
Really?
Yeah.
We are just destroying our own chances of existing.
The fact that we exist itself is paradise. The fact that we get to see the world.
But is God responsible for that? The fact that we exist itself as paradise?
I personally believe no.
Yeah. So you think it's happened
Randomly,
by chance?
Yeah, as chaos. Some part of the universe will have to be filled with.
You think life
Yeah.
happened?
Life happened, and the way we know it, we are so special and stuff because we don't see the kind of life we have experienced through years on any other planet near to us. But there will be some other kind of life that might have existed in the past, will exist in the future, or is some other part of the universe. We'll get to the universe topic.
Yeah, some other day. But yeah.
So another question. You said like God has a bag and all that stuff, right? You believe in the idea of God being all good, or like is it equal? So is God? I get God is all too powerful.
I know the code is coming to.
No, I'm not. You say. I'm just saying ki. I'm not saying that good. What I'm saying is ki. Do you think God is all powerful? He is all powerful. I believe he's all powerful.
If he's all powerful, he can't be all good. And
Yeah, if he's all good, he can't be all powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the thing, right, bro? I don't believe God is all good because if he was all good, he would have not. He wouldn't have made. The circle of life as it is, as we spoke about, or he wouldn't have made the man and the rattlesnake, or the two beings that can't survive or can't live with each other. They have to. It's one or the other. Survival of the fittest, right? And
You say. I have one thing to say, but
so that's the thing. That's the thing, right? I don't believe God is all good, but I think He is all powerful.
But with all power, do you think like kind of leads to the people going to the other side? Because when you're given so much power,
That's the thing, right?
Misuse.
Like, for me,
Okay, so the thing you said about the life and death, we see death or killing as wrong or bad. Maybe to God it isn't bad. It's
maybe he's just playing a game. Maybe he's just like chalo, purely humans, chalo.
not even in a bad way. We perceive it, the puny humans bad way.
Huh?
It's just we are so small.
No, the fact that we're talking so much and God does not exist now, I'm telling you.
check करना पड़ेगा भाई.
बात करना पड़ेगा भाई. कॉल लगाना पड़ेगा.
भगवान को भाई.
उसको कॉल लगा उसको.
उसको भाई लगा Instagram पे होगा ना. But yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, I mean, yeah, that was actually beautifully put. For God, how is killing wrong for him? Like in the larger scheme of things, right? That is actually I've never thought of that. But so do you think God is all good? If there is a God, do you think He's all good?
He's all good and all powerful, just not our definitions of good align. And He is all good and all powerful. That's why it is God.
So
there is something I recently heard.
Please get the pronouns right. Okay.
Something I heard said
He, she, they, them.
Something I recently heard which said ki God created the devil so that people would like see the devil, they would fear him, and then they would go to church. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So God is the one who's keeping order and who's maintaining the chaos. So there is this theory that people think that God actually created devil was God's deed.
Lucifer ज़्यादा देख लिया.
Yeah. Just imagine that.
Yeah, I know thought of
So
that.
people will just rush to church and like, God, please help me. God. Or like, they have faith in God. They have faith in something.
That is actually...
Also, do you think God? I know you said God, energy beings and all, but do you think God as a kingly sense, or it be the self?
Like you're saying, what do I perceive God as?
Yeah.
As a king?
You said energy. You said
you're
energy
God.
beings and all. Yeah.
Apart from the energy part, the energy that you think of, would you think of it more like kingly, like over the throne and stuff, or like as a
It's just-
saint?
Yes, just like, that's what I
As
said.
a saint, peaceful, calming energy.
I'd say, honestly, throne.
Really? So what about God being the consciousness of the self?
But then each and every person has their own consciousness. Then again, God would become an individual concept, which I don't think is good for society. Like you're saying, as each and every person in his own consciousness, right? But then I think each and every person should have one God. Like each and every person as a common society should have God as one, and that's when society will function as best, because everyone would do this, do what's best for that one being. If each and every person has their own version of God, society won't function, because as you only said that there are a set of rules that need to be
Followed,
kept
yeah.
in place.
Dictatorship, basically.
Yeah. But like, what about, have you all ever thought about this? Okay, this is another question, but I know we have discussed this, but I'm sure they would love to see it. Have you ever thought of God as just a future human being who has a science project due in a few weeks, and he decided to make the universe for his science project, placed a few human beings and a few other animals on a planet called Earth, and started playing a game, right? And the game has us as the characters, and this entire theory of life is the simulation theory, which is very common. A lot of people have spoken about it. Elon Musk, Neil deGrasse Tyson, all of these have touched upon it. And I know I know what our thoughts are, but I'd like them to also get to know what are your thoughts on this, the game of life, life being a game, and in the future technology gets so advanced to such a certain level that we can't differentiate between a game and reality. Like how, if in today's time, if you see, there are so many games that are so realistic, you can't even know if it's like real life or game. And imagine in 1,000 years, in a million years, how real technology and games and movies and everything would become. What if we are just video game characters and we're being controlled right now by a future human, and we just don't know about it? So that is what are your thoughts on the simulation theory?
That's a lot. Okay, Matrix, I guess everyone has seen it.
Yeah.
So-
that is what came into my mind
Yeah,
also. That is something to think about, Aaryan. What you said, no? The simulation.
This is one of the reasons I have so many conflicting opinions, because everything is not evidence backed, and it can all be. It's wonderful to explore and
Yeah.
I think the
think of
fact that
this.
there's uncertainty is what makes us attracted to it. I think so.
Ooh,
Exactly.
sexy. Yeah.
But the idea of the simulation theory, that we're all just characters in a video game, it's kind of, I can't disagree with it, of course.
I mean,
I just
bro-
don't want to agree with it. I feel like I've as much as I'd like to say, I believe we make our own destiny and all.
Yeah.
There is some element of truth to it. Like there is some element of truth that maybe it's all just control. Maybe there is free will, but like what you perceive as free will may not be that free for you.
What are your thoughts?
More like Interstellar, the route they go to. So basically, in future, as time goes on for, I don't know, like how long it goes, we evolve into higher dimensional beings.
Yeah.
And for them to be higher dimensional beings,
They have to contact us. Okay.
they have to contact us or put things in motion. So it's a time loop, the bootstrap thing.
But do you believe in the simulation theory?
To some extent, I would say yes. Not fully, like
Yeah.
not to a huge extent,
Yeah.
but very minute. And there's the doubt that everything is a simulation, and I love having that doubt.
But I'll tell you why the backing is so strong. Because think about it. If life was so common, it would have been everywhere, right? Everywhere in the universe. But the fact that it's not, and the universe is so large, and we are just in a speck in a galaxy that's so small, in a planet that's so small, and in that planet it's us. And I just don't think that in the larger scale of things, um, we just seem to have happened in the real base life that it is. I think um, I think we might be simulated as such, which is like basically, I think it's very possible that someone at this moment is simply controlling us, and when they are bored of the game and they want to turn off the game is when we go to sleep. And when we sleep for our 8 hours, and then because when we sleep for 8 hours, for 7 8 hours, where do we go? Where does our consciousness go when we are sleeping, right? It's a weird thing. We're sleeping, sometimes we're even dreaming. That's another whole different story which no one knows. But when we sleep and then we wake up again, that guy has come back to play the game, right? And that's
then he
just
finishes the game.
yeah. And then when he finishes the game someday, and I just feel that it's very possible on the base, just with the facts of how technology is evolving. That's like what I'm looking at. Look at 50 years ago, bro, the games that were made 50 years ago, like, and look at it today. Like, I literally saw a few videos of like laptop games and stuff, which I swear I thought it was a movie and it was a game, and I couldn't
Yeah.
believe it. And if that just continues for the next 1,000 2,000 years, bro, just think about it.
So I remember this one quote, if you remember, from Master Uwe. One often meets his destiny on the road he takes to avoid it.
I love that quote.
And that's something which really has struck with me. I do believe that, I feel like I have this visual image that what I think is ki, like, you have 5 futures. So this is you right now, and you have 5 futures ahead of you. So there's 5 predetermined futures for you, but you have to choose which one to take. So there is free will, but there is also simulation. That is what I think of the simulation theory.
So this Uguwe quote reminded me of another quote, thanks to Rahul. So
Rahul, if you're watching.
Yeah. So he gave me this quote long time back. Think you're escaping and run into yourself. Longest way round is the shortest way home.
Can you just repeat that? It was beautiful.
Think you're escaping and run into yourself. Longest way round is the shortest way home. So the thing you said, we take the path to avoid it.
Yeah. Oh wow.
I love it, man.
Damn.
So yeah, the simulation theory.
Okay, what about how much free will do you think we have?
Free will. I don't think there's a way to quantify it, but I believe we do have free will for sure. But as Arjun says, no? Yeah, Arjun says.
From Mahabharat?
No, yeah. From ZNM.
God relation
I'm like,
with Arjun.
No, I was gonna say,
सब लिखा हुआ है?
सब
सब लिखा हुआ
I
है.
do believe that सब कुछ लिखा है, but I, as you said, like
Do
there
that
is-
with the drink thing. Sab likha.
Guys.
Like
सब लिखा हुआ है.
water,
to सब कुछ लिखा हुआ
not
है.
alcohol.
By the way, I've been pretending the entire time in camera when I'm taking this sip of water that I feel like I'm drinking alcohol. But yeah, like सब कुछ लिखा हुआ है, guys. I think that, but as comforting that is, that's also equally terrifying. That if सब कुछ लिखा हुआ है, then what is the point of life, right? If everything is pre-decided, as we already spoke about in the start of the episode, then we won't be accountable for anything. Like anything that we do, we'll just give the credits or give the blame it on someone else. And I just don't think that's a better way of living life. I think we should be accountable. I think we should operate in a way where we think, no, we are responsible for everything we do. We are writing our own destiny,
Even though the destiny is
even though the destiny might be already written. I think that's a better way. Do you have any other questions, brother?
I believe like what I had was like
the free will.
free will theory.
मुझे बोलने ही नहीं थी.
Sorry. Continue.
Cover किया है. Ouch, guys.
Last time podcast में किसने मेरे को बोलने नहीं दिया था. मैं क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ. So I have this one thing I want to ask. अरे रुक जा भाई, मेरे को बोलने दो.
चलेगा. What was your next question?
No, you continue.
Free will मैं बाद में लाऊंगा फिर से बीच में insert करके.
No, but it's just. अबे, I think you know this question already. It's just.
I agree with Aaryan mostly about the free will. मैं बोल रहा हूँ insert कर. So
Okay. Do you believe we're here for some purpose, and do you believe you're special in some sort. I know we touched upon this, but I want to know your like detailed answer. You think every man is special, every woman, whatever, every
person
individual is
yes
special. Stop laughing.
Guys, we just do that to not get cancelled.
Yeah, sorry.
Comment section में see something.
Season 2 के season 2 बोल रहा हूँ.
देख क्या हो रहा है? Season 2 बोल रहा है. Second episode देख क्या हो रहा है?
Do you believe we're all made for something greater than us, that we have to accomplish, that there is some calling, it calls to us, we just have to answer it and we just have to work upon it? Or do you believe that there's nothing, it's just death, and it's actually freeing if you think about it, that you have nothing to work for? Like, what do you think?
I guess I talked about this in the previous episode 2 or 1. We all have those little tendencies, those interests that are built, that are inside us from genetics maybe, or maybe through birth. Same thing, but yeah, or maybe imparted upon us by the universe or God, as you would say it. So we have those tendencies, those interests, those paths, as you said, we could take in our lives. But all the actions that we take, it's up to us. There's just death, and to me it's very freeing to think of it that way. Like, there's no fixed purpose for me that the universe has imparted on me. But it's, as Aaryan also said, it's equally terrifying also to not have a purpose. Because what am I here to do? I'm 20 freaking years old, still figuring out what to do with my life.
But Rajveer, it is also very freeing. It is very, like, you feel kind of, there's a burden lifted off your shoulders, because...
Exactly, the burden is lifted off my shoulders. There's the thing that, I have to figure out something. But there's also like, I could do this.
Yeah, do you?
I could try that.
Yeah. That's the thing, like, if you take the fact that you're not special and that death comes to us all, we just need to act on it right now. It's kind of freeing, it's kind of liberating. That fact that you're not some precious snowflake from Fight Club, and that we're all just kind of like monkeys. We're just advanced, evolved human monkeys.
Shave your head.
Buzz cut करता हूँ मैं. So yeah, that's what I think. कि मतलब I want to believe what I said, like I said पहले कि like I think everyone is special, but I just think not everyone knows how to use that gift. But there's also this feeling कि like maybe you're not that special after all. Like, maybe you're just another human being on this earth who's just gonna die in 50, 60 years, and it won't matter whatever you do, your contributions. Okay यार, चल ठीक है, आगे जाके you might leave a legacy and all, but for how long? For 100 years? 200 years? After that, it's just the heat death of the universe. What do you think, Aaryan?
What's the question?
Do you believe
in purpose? Huh? I think we did.
Do you believe humans are special? Like, every person is special?
I do believe that every person. I think I do agree with him. My points would pretty much be overlapping, so I don't want to get into it utna. But so I had another question when it came to the same thing. Like, we were discussing about afterlife and God and stuff. Do you think God has a purpose for humanity as a species, or do you think God has a purpose for each and every person? Like, do you think there's a purpose for each and every person that God has placed in us, or is it a purpose that He has for the entire species of humanity? That's why humans exist as a species. Do we have a purpose as a whole, basically, according to God's will? What do you all think, or do you think each and every one of us have a own purpose?
I remember a similar question you asked pehle. You said ki would you rather find out your purpose in life, or would you rather find out humanity's purpose in life? And that still gets me thinking, what would I actually think? Rajiv?
It reminded me of that question, the thing you said a few minutes ago. Or why does life exist here only? The humanity purpose part, that reminded me of that. There's a lot of questions, we'll get into that in some other episode. Fermi paradox.
That's a different day. Yeah.
I'm still struggling to find out if there is actually some purpose for humanity itself.
Yeah.
For you maybe it might be there. Like, for you it might be work hard and reach that potential.
The purpose for an individual is still easy to understand. But humanity's purpose, right? And if you really think about it, we are the smartest species. We are the most advanced species that has ever existed. We are God's
discovered yet.
We are God's
discovered yet.
Yeah, obviously. We are God's favorite child, as such. So obviously He would have a certain path for us. And when I say we, I mean humanity as a whole. and I just can't understand what might that be. Like, what is God's reason for us? If God exists, what is his reason to send us on this planet? Why are we here? I can't answer that question no matter how much I try. I can answer it for myself, I can answer it for the three of us, but all of us as a species. And if it's to make it even more tougher, if you consider each and every being on earth, each and every being on earth, every alive being, if God has created all of them, because if God has created me, God has also created the grasshopper, the mosquito.
True.
God has created everything.
True.
Right? So why has God created? And I just answering that question for entertainment purposes only seems like so silly, but I can't figure out any other answer, right? It's crazy to me, like the way we're just living life and not asking. I know people don't even ask these questions, like in their mind they do, but no one asks out loud because it's weird to ask, like, what am I doing here? Like,
And another question which I also follow up with, what I think about and constantly is like, why do people have to die in the end? Like, why do we end this game of life? If you've given us this exciting opportunity, why finish it, man? Like, it's kind of...
That's the thing. Maybe that's, as he said it, if you look at it from a very large point, maybe it's not over yet. Like, maybe we just, our consciousness or energy goes into another body and we continue to live. So we are not really dead, but our body is obviously, physical body is resting because the body physically is dead. But inside us, we might continue to live on. Do you guys believe in souls, or do you guys believe like our energy or our soul or our consciousness goes to another body after we die? Or do you think, as I think we spoke about this, as you all said, or is it just close your eyes and poof, gone? That's it, good night.
I have two things on that. Again. Yeah, so humanity ka purpose, I feel like as much. So there are two stories here I'd like to say. Have you guys heard about the egg one?
Yeah.
Who came first, the chicken or the egg?
No.
Oh no, I'm not. You recommended me that video, I know, but I have not seen. Yeah,
it's a short story. Curse Gazard made a beautiful video.
Beautiful, yeah.
So basically, this guy, he has a family at home, wife, children. He dies in a car accident.
Okay.
He's dead. After opening his eyes, he visits this eternal, huge human being, huge divine presence. And the divine presence is like, you are dead and you died in a car accident and this is how you died. Case of organs failure and stuff. Your wife will be taken care of by insurance. Your kids will live off to a good life. They will be good university. They will have a good life, grandchildren and stuff. So he's a little calm by that, but still questioning, why have I died and stuff. So God, continues with this, and basically he says, you'll be reborn again. So he'll be like, okay, will I be reborn in this part of the world, in that part of the world? He says Southeast Asia or something in 1600s. He's like, okay, back in time. So God's like, yes, as a Chinese farmer girl or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, so are humans reborn in different times? So have I been through this before? God is like, you have been through this before several times. So he's like, okay, so there's a very minute chance I may have interacted with myself. God says, yes, you have interacted with yourself all the time. So he's like,
oh my god, that is beautiful.
So God says, you have interacted with yourself several times. So the guy says, okay, so there's a chance that I might have been my own mother or one of my own children, like predestination. So,
oh my god.
Yeah, God is like, yeah, he agrees, and he says that every human being ever born or ever will be born is you, and with every life that life has been old, every time you're born and you die, your soul goes through this progression or something. It evolves and it learns something, and after that you're born into a better person. And very immature soul will be doing all the evil stuff. And so he's like, till when does this continue? God is like, till you become me.
Yeah. So basically it's like each and every human is you that have continuously ever lived. It's the same consciousness, it's the same soul, it's the same energy that's lived through every human, and it goes through this game, and eventually you become the creator itself, and then you do this for maybe someone else, or I don't know, but that's the whole point. So it's one consciousness, basically just one consciousness that has ever existed, and it just keeps going from body to body and from time to time. The egg, guys, check it out. It's such a beautiful story, really makes you see life as a whole different perspective. But yeah, think
That was very heavy actually. I never thought of it that way. That was beautiful. Wow.
It also makes me. So the other thing I was talking about, the second thing, I feel it's on similar lines only. That I don't know every individual's purpose, but as humanity's purpose is to just be a better person.
But what makes you like? I get that, but what is being a better person like? Why?
Better person, or discover immortality, or just get humanity through the hard stuff, and get it to a point that higher dimensional being, so that it's able to.
Oh, okay.
you think the purpose of humanity or the purpose of a human is to become God eventually? Maybe, I don't know.
Higher dimensional being.
Yeah.
Everyone contributes to that in some way or the other, but a lot of them don't. And maybe that's necessary. That's how it's supposed to be. We'll never know.
That's the beauty of it, as you said. The curiosity is what makes this entire concept about God, life, all of it so beautiful, because we have no answers, and it's just it's the uncertainty that makes it so beautiful. But yeah, it's been a very heavy.
I can't believe we talked about like for what 1 hour.
It's been
about God.
It's been an hour, yeah.
I think we can talk about it for a longer time, but I think. What do you want? You want to wrap it up?
Do you have any other
Last question?
Do you have any other good questions in mind?
I think we could wrap up and continue more questions in some other episode, but I want to continue this story of
Maybe off camera.
Maybe off
Sorry, guys. But yeah, I think we could wrap it up and definitely there is so much more to talk about, which we could continue again.
What universe, free will,
Yeah, there is a lot.
God, religion.
We've just touched upon it.
Bro, we've not even touched upon alternate realities, dreams. There's so much stuff.
Exactly. Every time Aaryan was saying something, I was like, no, let's save it for the other.
Yeah. I saw it actually saying, he's like, abhi ki baat mein. I was like, bro, abhi kuch to bolna padega. But yeah, crazy.
I think this is the only episode where we're all
Agreed.
three of us have agreed on something.
Everything we have agreed on, literally, almost, yeah. But it's beautiful. I think, yeah, we can wrap it up.
That's a wrap.
Yeah.
So,
Alright.
guys,
Guys,
stay tuned to and keep watching
keep watching, guys. Productive
Procrastination
Podcast.
Cheers.
Good
See you
night,
guys.
guys. Cheers, guys. Again. Good night.
See you guys.